it says Shakespeare's used of contrasting scenes, at least 3 examples.
Right.
And I put 1, I was thinking like after the tennis ball scene, isn't it the French lesson?
No,
Or is that
after the
later?
tennis ball scene is the first time we meet Nim, Pistol, Bardolph, and they're fussing and
So is
fighting
that
over the.
funny? Is
Yeah,
that
well,
funny?
it was funny, and yet it was also, it was similar, because here was two men fighting over a girl, you had 2 countries fighting over a throne. And, so this is ninth grade, this is the A class, and we're reviewing for those that aren't here. So, this is one you need, I'm definitely gonna ask it, you gotta come up with 3 examples. That would be 1 example. You have to have 2 scenes equals 1 example. So the scene where the tennis ball scene, that sort of, that's about war. And it's somewhat funny because of the way he uses the language. But then you have the comic scene about war on a small scale between the Nim and
Bardolph and Pistol.
Pistol.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then when does the French lesson come? 'Cause
The
I
French
know
lesson-
that was like a funny scene
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, that comes after the Harfleur scene, where Henry uses his language to threaten the people of Harfleur with atrocities. And then the next scene is this silly scene of this, they're giggling, she's giggling, and she has no concept of what she's getting into. She doesn't have any idea what it is to marry Henry. She doesn't know Henry. And here's a guy who's threatening to kill 16-year-old girls and babies and old men, and then she's worried about, learning the language in order to marry him. And she doesn't know anything about war, she doesn't know anything about life, she doesn't know anything about marriage, and yet she's gonna be thrust into that within the next couple of years.
That's Catherine?
Catherine, yeah.
Okay, and what is a third example? Because I know there are so many.
And practically every scene you could imagine is like that. My favorite, I think, to answer this would be the scene at the end of Act 3. I think that's it. Act 3 with the French boasting about their armor and their horses and how long the night is. They can't wait for morning to arrive. And then that's end of Act 3. The very next scene, the beginning of Act 4, is the scene where Henry is walking through the camp and everybody's gloomy and worried and concerned and
I see,
ruminating.
he like comes to them and talks to
Yeah,
them,
but
right?
the difference there is in the mood. The French are playing dice and having fun, and the English
Right.
are quiet and sick
Like,
and tired and all that. And then what's fun is during the battle, right at the end of the battle, the French are saying, "Are these the guys that we played dice over? Like we were playing dice last night thinking this was gonna be so easy, and it wasn't." That's 3 scenes right there. Yeah.
On the review game, number 15, I couldn't find out who number 15 is.
Okay, I don't have it, read it.
Okay,
I resided over the treaty meeting.
Okay, it happens to be Burgundy. I'll try not to ask you that because we didn't read it, but the answer is Burgundy.
Okay.
Wait for whatever.
Number 15 on the review game.
Burgundy?
Yeah. Have you got any of this here? Are you following?
Also, is the slides on my call?
Yeah.
What is that called? Was it like a?
Henry V.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Any last questions? I'm gonna turn this around and start asking you questions here in just a minute.
I have one. What else do we need to know? Oh, okay, what is Southampton?
Southampton is a town between London and the coast of England,
Oh,
where
okay, right.
they stop for some reason, and that's where he exposes the traitors and arrests them.
And what?
He exposes the traitors, accuses them, arrests them of their crime. They were going to kill him, and he turns the tables on them.
Who
Henry-
does?
Henry V.
I forget when that happens.
It happens right there at Southampton, at the beginning of Act Two, when they're on their way to the coast in order to sail to France. And he, they want promotions, and instead he gives them arrest warrants.
Oh, when he's like kind of sly.
Yeah.
And talks to the people plotting against him.
Right, he turns the tables on.
Got it, thank you. I think I have one more. Do we need to know exactly, I know that Erkingham's English, Llewellyn's Welsh, Gower's English, Jamie's Scots, and Morris.
And I said this yesterday, I actually had somebody ask this question: how can you condense this material in order to make it, you got so many things, and that's what I've already done. Look at that first section. You've got the family of Henry V. You got his uncle, his cousins, and even some of the traders are cousins. Then you have the 5 former companions. Then you have the 5 British officers, and you have the 3 common soldiers. Then you have all the, several of the French people, and then his uncle, Edward the Black Prince, and then the bishop. So that's one way to look at it. You have these categories. So instead of having to just remember 15 names or 20 names, or 25 names, you've got 5 categories. So study them by those categories. That'll help you.
So the categories of British officers, former companions.
Right.
Cousins.
That's right.
Okay. And then one more question. Oh yes, so his place of birth his date of birth and death are April 23rd, right?
Shakespeare, right.
Yes.
But you need to know the years.
Right, I forget, it's like,
1564 and 1660.
Right.
16 what?
16.
And 16 what?
16.
1564 and 1660.
Okay. So it's 1564
And
to
16.
1660.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, one more. Keep saying one more, but there's always another. Okay, the 3 major categories of his play were comedy, tragedy, and history.
Okay, those are the 3, the 3 types of plays, genres of plays that he wrote. You can divide them into at least 3 parts. That's the generally accepted way to organize it. I've got a book that has them in 4 different categories, but the 3
Okay.
categories there are the best.
And then, last question for
All right.
real this time. The date of the writing of the play.
All right, anybody know that?
Which one?
The one he just had.
Was it in the 15? No.
Oh, was it 1415?
That's the Battle of Agincourt.
Oh, right.
Wait,
Sorry.
give me a
He was born in 1564. So he said that's why dates are
So-
important, to help you. This could not possibly happen because he wasn't born or so
It was
forth.
written between 1386 and the 1400s.
No, he was born in 1564, so he couldn't write the play until after 1564.
Then my notes are wrong.
Then
Because
what
it
is
says written
It's
between.
1599.
Oh.
Now, it sounds like you're thinking about Canterbury Tales.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at
That just makes it
Tales.
more complicated.
Sorry, I was looking at the Fairy Tales.
Okay, and the 5 characteristics of the Globe Theater are like the heavens, or what is it, like the 5 characteristics? Or
Well, You've done this before, you did this last year, so you can picture this arena. Remember, it's a circular arena, it's got three levels. The stage itself has a towering house built, a three-story house is what we call it, but structure. It's a flat platform, the groundlings stand on the ground around it. You do have the heaven, which you can drop material and people from, and which is then you have a trapdoor in the stage, which is they call hell. And then you have all the information about the acting and the actors and the kind of things that are required there. I don't know how many that is, but those are the chief characteristics of it. All right, yes.
Was he born in Stratford-on-Avon?
Yes. sometimes just called Stratford, but Stratford-on-Avon is the, yeah. And we don't know when he went, but he did all of his work for 20 years. So somewhere between 1593, 1500, and let's see, 1590, and 1620, you know, that area, he died in 1616, so he's home by then, but, so most of the plays are written in the 1590s. That'll help you. 1599 is when Henry was written. All right, any more questions, then I'll ask you questions.
When you say 5 characters of the Globe Theater?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Did I say 5?
Yeah, you said right, the 5 characteristics of the Globe Theater, and what you're acting. What do you mean by characteristics? Do you mean like it was an open air playhouse?
They're not just 5, I guess that's what I said, just make sure you can think of 5. They're not only 5, they're more than 5, but, and we just listed those. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it was, all right, sorry.
I mean, and we didn't mention the acting. The actors are men, they're not women. There are no props. There are lots of props. There's no scenery. The actor has to be good at fencing, he has to be good at memorizing, he has to be good at singing and dancing. He had to be a good athlete, maybe even gymnastics to some degree. And so all those things are characteristics of the acting. Remember the theater, the plays take place during the daytime. It's an open air theater, no interior lighting, so all the plays are done during the day, about 2 hours long. And then all those traits we just mentioned, that you can look at the diagram online and see what that is. And you've got
Did you have to be able to dance?
dance and sing and fence and probably do some sort of gymnastics. Dancers are good at that. They're kind of gymnasts to begin with. All right, any last questions? Okay, I want to ask you these questions. You got 24 hours, you got 48 hours. You can have your notes out, but it doesn't sound like a lot of you've studied yet, which is your prerogative, but that is not the best way to do it.
I have to look.
Yeah, and I don't even, if you've been paying attention, studying isn't new material. It's all things that you recall, because we've been talking about it for 2.5, 3 weeks. So you want me to just go around the room? I want to challenge, we can get in 2 groups. I don't know the best way to do it. What do we got, about 20 minutes? 2 groups?
Two groups split down the middle.
I'm not gonna be in this room. Y'all don't know
Sorry.
anything.
Okay, y'all.
Hey, we'll take like 2, we'll take like 2, we'll take like 2.
Huck has to be in our group.
I'll go first, so it's better. Okay, so what are we doing? You need to look first. You need to look first. Come on, Huck, get over here. That's 4 on.
Huck, you're in the
No,
first.
that's all right. We need 5 people. We got
This is
11, we got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Or can we
5,
just
6,
like answer them?
8.
Huck, you're on with you.
Okay, so 5 versus 4.
No, that's 5 versus 5.
Can't we just like answer the questions?
Can you count?
I'm just gonna call them out to you and see if you know them. You know, like we've done, we've sort of had this game, keep score. Is that not helpful to you?
That's not
I
too
mean,
bad.
This is
not
That was
really.
fun.
This is gonna be like Mr. Willoughby's getting lost.
Well, we can kind of combine the two. I'm gonna go through here and we'll start with, why don't we start over here? Again, if you don't know it, I guess you can refer to your notes. You can see if your notes, but hopefully you know some of these. So we'll just start at number 1. Who is, without looking, who served as the messenger for the French? Has a name.
Can I look at the names and the pictures?
You don't know it.
It was, I know it was 2 it was the Exeter.
No.
He did serve as an ambassador one time, but that's not the same thing. This guy's just a messenger.
Montjoy.
Montjoy is his name. So we'll go back to you. I am convinced that he has the right to claim the French throne. So who was it that convinced Henry that he had the right to be king of France? You should know this.
Bishop of Canterbury.
And you could have said Eli, both of them were. All right, we'll go back over here, Leah.
Of Canterbury?
Have a very red face, used to hang out with the king and ended up being hanged as a thief.
Bardolph?
That is Bardolph. We'll go here to Jaden. Two friends, I have two friends, soldiers and former friends of the king love me, but only one married me. So who's the one that's two friends, two soldiers love me, and one married me? Who am I?
You said you could use your notes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should point out there are not very many females in the
Oh, it is.
book.
Wait, it's a female?
Two former friends love me.
Oh wait, I thought it was Nim, but I was wrong.
Nim didn't get married.
Nim didn't get married.
Oh, I know.
Can we say it?
Yeah,
Is it Catherine?
Oh,
It's Nell Quickly,
it's Nell. So how,
cause she got married to,
she got married to Pistol,
Yeah.
not Nell.
Oh, yeah, because Catherine got married.
Hi, Huck. I put Jackson back. Jackson just gets up and moves, and he's.
Oh, I thought it made sense we were in a group.
But see, but this is why you're up here, is to help you pay attention. You don't. You can't. I want you to learn this stuff. We'll go to Huck. I am Princess Catherine's lady in waiting.
Oh, yikes.
We didn't call this person that. We could have called her a governess. We
This
could have
is
called her a
number what?
nanny. Number 5.
Alice.
Correct.
Good job,
Let's see.
I'll remember it.
Becca. I sent tennis balls to Henry, and I can't wait to fight the English. I also really love my horse.
oh, is it just Charles? Oh,
Did Charles send tennis balls to Henry? That's what your answer. Is that your answer?
yeah, but that's not right.
It's not the right answer. I think
Is it the Dolphin?
the Dolphin.
Yeah.
We'll go to. All right. So, Ian, I am Welch, a student of Greek and Roman wars, and think wars should be conducted according to the rules.
Llewellyn.
Very good. You answered that with quickly and with a lot of authority. Chris, I was the king's close friend, but was also one of those who was bribed by the French to kill him.
Was that
Bread, crust.
Yeah, it is. Are y'all listening to what we're doing here?
I actually did, I did.
Okay, did you get the answer to that one? I mean, I'm doing this for you guys, not for me, so. How about Jackson? I married Nell quickly.
Pistol?
Yes. Andrew, the king borrowed my cloak so he could go under cover the night before the battle.
Empingham?
Correct. John Carter,
Oh, Lord.
I'm probably the only one of the French leaders that does not underestimate the power of the English.
Wait, hang on, I might actually know this one. Wait, was it the King of France?
Yes.
Well, who is it? Sounds like
Jayden. I'm Henry's uncle. He sent me to talk to the French.
This should be easy. It's the Exeter.
Exeter.
What is the King of France's name? We don't have.
Henry the-
Charles the Sixth. Leah, a corporal, I am a corporal and I was engaged to Nell.
Wait, what was number 4? 'Cause-
Nell quickly.
Yeah, it wasn't them, yeah.
All right, Becca, I was betrothed to Henry as part of the treaty.
Catherine?
Correct.
Lovely.
I presided over the treaty meeting. I'm not even gonna include this. Do you know that?
Well, I put something wrong. I put Henry, but
All
I.
right, let's skip that one. I'm gonna-
Burgundy.
It's
Burgundy,
Burgundy. Let me
yeah.
give you another one. I was a wild youth.
Henry.
All right, where are we? Chris, what do you call two rhymes of rhyming verse, usually with the same meter that often ends a scene?
Rhyme couplet?
Yeah,
Wait, 16 was Henry, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna ask you the examples or not, I'm gonna skip that part right now. 19, that would be Ian. The repetition of initial consonant sounds in sentences. Initial, I don't know why it says in a sentence, it's poetry, so. Of the same initial consonant sound, as in Sally sells
It's the
seashells.
literary device. Sally sells seashells by the.
Oh,
seashell.
alliteration.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Right, Andrew, what do you call the part of the play, where all the parts of the play are connected and resolved? We're talking about the, yeah, plot of it.
Yeah, denouement.
Denouement.
Denouement, yes.
Mont.
Wait, how would you spell that?
It's on the other sheet, D-E-N-O-U. M-E-N-T.
Thank you.
So we're back right there, Jackson. What do you call descriptive language that evokes the five senses?
I have no idea.
Well, think.
Anybody know?
Oh, I know.
Anybody over here know?
It's what? I'm sorry? I-
Number 23.
Yes, and say it, it's what?
Descriptive
23.
language that
What is the
evokes
question?
the senses.
The descriptive language that evokes the senses.
Oh.
23. Okay, anybody over here know?
Yep, imagery.
Y'all giving up?
Imagery.
It is.
He caught my point. I said
You can't give him that point.
Well, she really did, 'cause she didn't, no.
Not our fault, not ours.
He can, yeah, Jason can have that point.
I'll give him another chance. Where we are, right there.
Oh, yeah, you're
All right. What is a metaphor that is carried through multiple lines in a poem?
extended metaphor. Extended metaphor.
We're gonna skip 27, it's paranomasia, I think it is, we're not gonna use that one, so. Number 29, what do you call, John Carter, an arrangement in a sentence in which items of equal importance are written in similar grammatical form?
Parallelism?
Yeah.
Bless you, Chris.
We'll go to Becca. Events or dialogue in literature which provides clues to the outcome of the plot.
Foreshadowing.
Right. We are at Leah. The meter of Henry V has 10 syllables of stress and unstressed rhythm. What do we call that? I should add unrhymed. stressed than unstressed rhythm.
This is what we've been talking, but soft. what-
If I say unrhymed though, what is it called?
No, he was
Think of
born.
like having nothing.
1560.
Fill in the,
Blanks.
that's blank verse.
Yes.
Did everybody get that? Blank verse is unrhymed iambic pentameter. If I just ask
Yeah, he was born.
unstressed and stressed rhythm, you could say iambic pentameter. If I say unrhymed, that's blank verse. Chris, when and where was Shakespeare born?
He was born April 23rd, 1564, and he was born in
Town. I need a town.
It's something on. something-
Don't tell him, he's very sensitive.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a
What's
brain
that
fart.
called?
I only know the
It's-
date.
Anybody there know?
Yep.
Yep.
Strawberry on
Oh my gosh.
Stratford on Avon.
I don't know if that happens.
Where are we? Ian,
No.
where are we?
Huff.
Jackson.
It's Huff.
Oh, it is me, yeah.
All right, what was Shakespeare's acting company called?
Oh, the King, something's men, King, oh my gosh, I'm trying to do, the
Company,
company?
the King's
King
Company.
Chamberlain's men.
That was another name for it, yeah. So they're two different names for the same company. The Lord Chamberlain's men
Lord
and the King's
Chamberlain, oh
Company.
my gosh, yes. Poor Rich, what?
I guess
So
we'll go
what was the
to,
correct answer to that?
if the original, if I said the word original, it'd be Lord Chamberlain's men. What are the three categories of Shakespeare's play?
Comedies, tragedies, and mysteries.
Good job, Andrew. Superior knowledge.
Ian,
Wait,
The Globe.
Comedies, tragedies, mysteries.
okay, Ian, what is the name of Shakespeare's theater?
The Globe.
Where are we?
I think
All right, Jaden. How many plays did Shakespeare write?
Good question.
Thank you.
38.
I'll accept 38, yeah.
But it was like, didn't you say there was a theory about it being 39?
Yeah, 38 is good.
Wait, that was 39.
38. Let's go with 38.
38.
Oh, 39 is 38.
All right,
Boys.
Jackson, people who stood in the yard to watch the plays were called what?
Groundlings.
Let me read it again. People who stood in the yard to watch the plays were called what?
I know.
Groundlings.
Grounding. Where are we? Becca, what was the ceiling of the stage platform called?
The heavens.
Correct. Who played, John Carter, who played the roles of women in Shakespeare's day?
It was teenagers or young men.
Yeah.
Groundlings. Groundlings.
Where are we, Chris? Are we at Chris? When was Henry V written?
1599.
What?
1599.
Sorry, yes.
Ground. L-I-G-S.
When were they written?
1599.
No, it's over here. Where are we, John Carter? No, Leah, okay. Name two places where plays were performed before Shakespeare's day, when they didn't have theaters. Where did they perform?
On the, like, ground thing.
The what?
They performed, I don't have this written down, but they performed them, like, did they perform them just, like, on the ground?
Kind of.
That's not specific enough.
She's on the right track, can I piggyback?
It's not in the air or the water.
Can I piggyback?
And
Can I piggyback?
Yeah.
It was in university halls and in courtyards.
And
like-
churches.
And
And palaces.
Right.
All right, so just common sense, where did people live? Where could large groups of people gather?
Who have lots of money.
That's where they had plays. Andrew, what made Henry a good leader?
Oh,
Andrew,
He was very inspirational, determined, and courageous, and also clever.
this would be a big question, so you need a lot of answers, but that's a good start, and I would need, examples for those.
Like from the book.
Yeah, oh yeah, but I'm not asking you that now.
oh, I know. What about
Over
like
here, anybody, was he a good king, why and why not? Well, yeah,
His speech making, and an example of that would be.
does that make him a good king?
Oh, yes, well, his like ability to like, communicate and also convince and inspire people, you know?
Right,
And an example of that would be like the St. Crispin's Day speech,
Right.
honestly.
He also, I remember.
It's down to earth and goes to his men and like, encourages them,
Right.
like, kinda like in the gutter
So
with them.
that would be a good thing to study, is how many different times he used his language to, in his speech, he's
Yeah.
speaking to.
He has a way with his words.
Yeah,
But I put inspirational, determined, courageous, and clever.
why does Henry make the St. Crispin's speech, anybody? Why did he even give this speech?
Motivated, man.
What makes it effective?
It's motivating.
What makes it motivating?
Like the way he talks and how he like he gives them a reason to fight and like he like.
I need a specific,
I don't know.
okay. There's one good answer for that. And that is, remember, he turns a negative into a positive. The negative was Westmoreland pointing out that I wish we had 10,000 more men. And so he turns that into a positive, say, no, we don't want 10,000 more men, because that means they would steal our honor. So the fewer men, the greater share of honor. That's the basic principle of the entire speech. And that's why he's so clever. He turns a negative into a positive. And then finally, we've already done this, but anybody, without looking at your notes, remember a pair of contrasting scenes. Yeah,
Okay, I remember when, it was Catherine and then the other, like, woman who was teaching her French,
yeah.
and didn't that come after, like, a fighting scene? I think, or what
Yeah,
did it come
but you need to be specific. You need to tell me which. scene.
Okay, well, I don't know specifically, but like, it was almost like a comic relief, because like,
Right.
she was trying to like speak French,
Right.
but she like was really bad at
So
it.
who can tell me the scene that preceded that? We just talked about it, literally, this period. Do you remember the scene that preceded that? The scene between Alice and her
Yes.
governess?
Yes.
What was it?
Well, they're speaking French.
Yeah, but the scene that preceded that
Right.
came before.
Yes, I do. Where's my packet? Okay, they said, okay, so the scene it's the hard floor scene where King Henry threatens atrocities.
You remember that? He threatened to kill babies and children and
Yeah.
old people, and that's very serious, almost horrifying, and yet the next scene is silly. I need two more. John Carter, you got one? Number 48. I need another contrasting pair of scenes.
Has someone said the tennis ball already?
Nope.
What-
Be good.
Wouldn't that be one? 'Cause,
But
like,
you gotta have two scenes. What does that contrast with? If it is, it's gotta be the one before, the one after. I'd suggest the one after. Anybody remember what comes after the tennis ball scene?
Yeah,
Yes.
the French and the English fighting over.
No, we meet still Bardolph and Nim, and they're
Oh.
fighting.
They're fighting over a girl.
Yeah, they're fighting over a girl, just like they're, like, the scene before, they're fighting over.
So it's this big thing they're fighting over countries.
That's what I meant to say, but I messed it around in my head, I mixed it up.
Say it correctly, so you'll get credit for it. I need one more pair. Now, we just did this, literally,
So what was the
Less than
first,
30 minutes
what was the
ago.
first one that you, what was the first one that someone said over
the
there?
fight, the tennis ball scene, and then the two fighting over the girl. And then the hard floor scene, and Alice and Catherine. I need another pair. You must be tired, because we literally went over this 20 minutes ago. You got 48 hours to forget it or to study it. So let's look at the scene, the two scenes, back-to-back scenes where the French are boasting about killing the English in the morning. They can't wait for the night to be over. They're boasting about their armor and their horses. The very next scene, Henry is having to go through camp to camp because the English are just the opposite of that. They're sad, they're tired, they're weak, and he's having to go encourage each one of them.
Right, I think that's part of Henry's character, right? Like, it's an example of Henry's character. That's
Yeah,
like kind
which
of-
is what? What is part of his character?
Like, down to earth and kind of desiring to be like, well, also, he was like, he'd always kind of wanted to be kind of, I don't know, unkingly and kind of more of a companion to his subjects rather than a ruler.
Yeah, but remember, he hangs his own friends. They're his people too. In fact, they're his friends. So he's able to distinguish when to turn it on, to be nice, and when to be strict. And that's part of being a king. You can't please everybody, even your own friends. You have to do what's best, hopefully for the country. Sometimes leaders do what's best for them, and that's when you got a bad leader. But hopefully, and you could argue that Henry is doing all this for his own personal gain. That would definitely make him a bad king. So you got 48 hours to study this. It's one of two tests. You don't have lots of choices. So you blow it, it's hard to overcome that. You will have another one. The other one will be Inferno, which will be fun, but it's also a lot of details. So please study this, prepare yourself for this.
Chris,
Thank you, Mr. Powell.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow morning.